If every time you stretch your middle split, you find yourself shifting forward out of the middle split and like you're running away and your knees are bending and your pelvis is moving forward, it might be because of your hamstrings. Let's talk about why. So if we look at this photo of the hamstrings from the side, you can see that they start on the back of the pelvis on the sits bone. They course through the back of the thigh and then they insert just across the knee joint. So they cross the hip joint and the knee joint. If our hamstrings are tight, they will either pull us into a posterior pelvic tilt, a tail tucked position, or they will bend our knee. Now, the ideal middle split position has our hips flexed to 90 degrees and then brought out to the side in that straddle. So our hamstrings are tight in a middle split position. We also know that our pelvis has to be anteriorly tilted, so more towards the butt out position versus the tail tucked position. So this forward shift you see here brings the pelvis in front of the knees instead of slightly behind the knees where it should be. That's because the hamstrings get so tight and then they kick us forward out of the stretch. So if that's you, try this instead next time you stretch your middle splits. This belly up middle split stretch at the wall is a great alternative, but the key here is you have to use a lumbar roll to keep your pelvis in an anterior pelvic tilt. That's this guy right here. That way your cheating hamstrings have nowhere to go. But if this is too hamstring intense, which it very well might be, do this instead. Scoot away from the wall and bend your knees. You can ignore the band. This is from a different exercise. The key point here is to get your knees just above your hip crease so that you're in that proper middle split position. You're still using a lumbar support to keep your pelvis in that anterior pelvic tilt, but your knees are bent, so now your hamstrings aren't the primary limiting factor here, and you're allowed to focus on your adductor muscle while maintaining that ideal anterior pelvic tilt and hip flexion just above 90 degrees.